Hi guys, right, we're off again. Ball turner Mark II, and this is going to be based on a boring head, running it through the tool post. So I have described what I was planning in the last video on the Mark I ball turner, which I'm pretty much putting to bed for now. Excuse me. So here's my original tool post, which I've machined on the top there so I can get a piece of inch. Alright, so I can get a piece of inch in there. In use it'll be pretty close to the front because I'm actually fairly limited for getting the cross slide and compound back far enough. I've got the wrong angle here probably. Let's get my hand round there. So the distance from the compound to the tool, and this is the stubbiest little fella I can find, and that is only going to be about a ½ inch off the vertical center, so I can just about do it, but it's a pretty close thing. So I've got to make the arbor for this 7/8 20 thread there. We'll have a thin shoulder, not very much. If in fact, yeah, I'll probably have a small shoulder, but I'm planning to put at the front and the rear probably something like a thin brass bushing just to help for wear. I mean, the ideal thing of course would be to have 2 thrust races, but that's a thrust race would push this forward more anyway. So we've got to bore this out, set that up for boring through on machine center and fairly well inboard, slightly offset inwards. And once we've got that machined, and although I could be careful and drill it out and ream and get an exact ½ inch, I've got to turn the arbor for this anyway, which I'll do as the last stage. So the ½ inch that I will have projecting, maybe even go to 5/8, I'm not sure yet. I can turn that to make an exact firm fit inside the square. So we've got a chunk of inch, and we'll get that in for the arbor at some point. So the first job is to get this bored out, or mark it up, and in fact face it off. I've only just cut this chunk off. We'll face that off, mark it up, set it up in the forge jaw, and then try and get it bored out. Right, well, we're setting the forge jaw. I'm just making a start here on the boring through. I'm just going to put I've got a fairly nice 1/4 inch here. I'll just take it steady and get that through. There she goes. Alright, at least that's got the quarter down there, so I'll try and put a ½ inch down. I think I can go. I'll put the back gear in actually, take it a bit steady. I'm actually drilling 1732 because it's a nice Morse drill that I've got, which has got a very decent cut on it. and as I said before, I shall make the boring head arbor to suit this bore here. So I'm just going to carry on. I'm on back gear. I haven't checked my revolutions, probably about, when I speed it up, it'll be about 150. Should be getting close to breakthrough soon. You probably noticed the slight run out on this drill bit, and I realised that probably it's my own stupid fault, because not having faced this, and if it was not dead square, when the drill started going in, this may have applied to the 1/4 inch too actually, but when we started to bite, it was throwing it off very slightly. So it's just as well this bore is not overcritical. I'll see what reamers I've got to finish it with if it needs it. Okay, yeah, it's a bit annoying that wiggle on there. I don't usually get that very often, but I think I should have definitely faced it first. Anyway, I'll take the back gear off and get that faced up, and then we'll move on from there. Almost there. So that face was somewhat off square. That would account for the drill going a little bit awry. Yeah, that's better. We'll face the other end when convenient. Alrighty. We just turned that around and faced off that end, which didn't need too much. Get a little bit of chamfer there. That basically is that. I think I'm done with that for the time being. Probably not much more to do to it, hopefully. And yeah, that facing tool I think is getting a bit dull. Actually, this is fairly hard material. Not sure what the hell it is. Picked it up from my machining buddy. So anyway, next thing is to get the arbor made up, and then turn it down a bit tight, and then probably lap it in with some grit. So here's the larger piece, which we've got to turn down quite. This is a piece of inch, and I've got to go down to, what did I finish up at? My bore, which I did finish with an adjustable reamer just to smooth it out a little. It came out at 535, just bigger than the 1732. So we got to turn this down to an accurate about 533, something like that. if anything a little tight hopefully, and then we can lap it in. Now I've got a sharpening mark here, so there's what excuse me, there's what we'll call the bearing block, and I'm leaving myself here about nominally about 1 3/8 inches, something like that, and this end will have a handle of some sort. Haven't even thought about that yet. As usual, I do everything on the fly. I can't remember the last time I drew detailed plans. It's like, well, we'll see what we're going to do when we get to it. So I really got to turn all that down, and I got an old HSS here. It was a trial grind. I'm going to try that and get some roughing done. I'm not going to bore you with that. Some of my earlier videos I covered sort of every darn stage. Well, you don't need to see all that. I'll come back to this when we're getting down nearer to diameter and take it from there. Well, we got a good way down. I haven't actually checked this HSS bit is doing very nicely, getting a very nice finish, which I don't need at the roughing stage. Would be down to 785, 790. So I've got quite a long way to go, but unfortunately I'm getting very close to my centre. I can probably take one more fairly good cut, then I'll have to use another tool, but this, like a lot of HSS tools, they produce or can produce quite a nice finish. So I just plod on, find another tool, hopefully one that'll give a reasonable result. Well, I like this tool, and I was getting a bit annoyed at having to change it because of the tail stock centre, so I ground it off, put a relief on the back of it. It's not affecting the cutting edge, which is pretty reasonable, so I'm going to carry on with that probably as far as I can. Yep, still going good. Get nice chips off that, which is fairly useful. Getting close to the last pass now. Just taking a light 5-star cut, and that should leave me about 4 to go, but I shall take it easy on that. Even to the extent of a bit of paper polishing, try and get the best fit I can. Take a little bit more bite into that. I've got to shoulder that in a minute, change tools. Alright, just finishing off some polishing here. I shall have to attend to my tailstock. I think I'm about just over half a thou out of parallel, which is a bit annoying. Well, mind you, I haven't checked it for a long time. So just taking a final little polish. A little bit tight here, but I'm going to basically lap them in a minute. Right, I think with luck we should be about there. See if we can go through. Just a little bit tight. Oh, there we go. I don't know whether I even need to lap it actually, it'll probably bed itself in use. Okay. Alright, that's that bit done, which is a bit darn critical. And so I'm just going to take a little cut here, because I'm going to set this up in the that's pretty reasonable. I'm going to set this up in the forge jaw when I turn this round and do the other end and the threading. I'm going to make sure that's all right. So let me just move this round a little. I'm just going to take the lightest of cuts on here. This piece wasn't running very true. It's quite wasn't that good. All right. Okay, now I've just got to work up that, change tools and tidy that shoulder up, and then we can take it out. Okay, I think that should be all right there. Just try and check that for. Looks as though we're just a smidgen tight. Didn't want to overdo that. I'll just relieve that area slightly. Should probably, I probably set this cross slide half a thou short of what I needed. There we go. Alright, that's it. Just working up the boss here prior to threading, and just taking a few thou, which should actually get me to 7/8 hopefully. should see, there we are, that's great. Just a thou under, gives me a bit of leeway. Now we've got to make an undercut there and a chamfer on the lead in. So we'll get that done, and then next thing virtually will be threading. I'm not sure of the depth actually on this 7/8 20. It doesn't look very much. I think it's probably only going to be about 18 to 22, 18,000, 20, I don't know. We'll basically take cuts until we get a decent crest and root, and then try for fit. I think suck it and see. I'm just finishing the undercut on here. I'll make it a good 30 thou. I think it should be safe. And it's spindle handle time, because I've got no centre to stabilise this end. So we'll just get that down to, well, I think we'll go to 35 thou. There's no harm in having it a little bit deeper, is there? That's basically it, I think. So we've got our undercut, got a chamfer, so we're basically all ready for threading, which again I'm going to do by hand with the spindle in the lathe. It's such a short pass, it's going to be much easier by hand. Just got to break those edges. So, set up for threading. Now, fortunately I've got a very small point 60-degree tool for threading. Just setting that up ready, and do a scratch test and set things up. I'm going to have to stop this session and come back to it again soon, which from your point of view will be about 1 second. Alrighty, March 28, 22 degrees outside. Good, isn't it? Alrighty, you're going to try and take a scratch test here. I think I'm feeding in enough. It's just showing, so and as I think I said, I'm using the spindle handle. It's no point in power feed on here at all. Let's see what we got. I don't know whether I can zoom in a little bit more, and we'll see how we get on with that. It's a very, very fine scratch. It's only a thou or so. Trying to actually see. Alrighty, we're on the money there. So we'll continue, and you might hear it's blowing a gale again. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Oh well. Let's see what happens here. I'm glad I've got this narrow point threading tool, because I didn't want to make the run out at the back much bigger than it is. Let's take it slow and steady. Alright, I'm going to keep going on this, and I'll come back to you in a moment when we're getting close to depth, which is a bit of guesswork actually, I must admit. I haven't looked up anything to see if there's a figure for 20 TPI on 7/8. I think actually this is going to be close to the half inch 20 I did a while ago, which I think was about 30, depth was 30, 32 or 3, I can't remember now. So I'm just plodding on, taking small cuts, a couple of thou, take the occasional spring cut. Oh, I think that must be a spring cut. I thought I'd wound on a bit more, but the one thing about threading is you've got to be very concentrated and try not to get things out of sequence, because even on a small piece like this you can easily go wrong. Now the one thing you probably can't see from that angle is the tool. I don't think I can quite get the angle for that. Anyway, I'm going to take a few more passes and then we'll look again. Right, this is more or less a spring cut, because I can see the crests coming up. They're not fully formed, but I think we'll get to the point where we'll try for fit. And seeing as this piece is projecting out quite a bit, the spring cut's quite important. It's fairly clean. This is very much suck it and see. Well, looked as I stopped at about the right time, doesn't it? Yeah, how about that then? Alright, let's come back to the think tank now as to what we're going to do next.